God damn, it's been a long time, bro. Like when you think about how long I've not really posted on this channel, it's probably been since like August last year, before I actually even turned 20 was my last video. So I'm a little rusty, you know what I mean? I need to get the WD-40. However, finally, and about damn time too, because we're putting the ideas first in the big 2026. That is exactly what's taking place. This is 2025's best albums, but what's next for 2026, 2027, 2028? For every artist that's actually listed for this video, we're going to predict when the next album is, what that title of that album will be called, when I think it might come out, and what that sound is, and also what the goal for that, like their intentions with that album, goals it may accomplish. I don't want to say Grammys too much though, but you will hear Grammys. My understanding is this first one that I do have at number 22, start off the list, very like hot take. People will believe that there are better albums than this one, and obviously I do too. There's like 21 more better albums than this. There's other fields that I didn't really dive into. I've heard a lot of different sounds, different genres, but the one that connected to me the most to sit at number 22 was insert name, because I can't really say this. The album was called Yang though, and I know how that makes me look. That makes me look like I'm a typical fan of this guy. I know. It makes me look like I would throw in some Tom McDonald dump for a bit of like an aux banger. I know that. I know exactly how that makes me look. But it was cool. They had like the backpack swag on there. You had like songs that were definitely not expected. I was not expecting songs from this artist to like even move a muscle out of me, bro. I was surprised by the progress that he's seeming to make, the growth in his sound, you know what I mean? The growth in his awareness of how to actually make music. It was a bit too expressive. There was a bit too much screaming when there doesn't need to be. Still trying to articulate himself well. That's very important. If you're an artist, you've got to have self awareness. You know what you can't do. You got to know what you can do. Obviously, that'll make the best work for you. That's all I gotta say. Some of these songs are a little like corny still. The corny because of his track record, is the songs that he's already made. Whether you're a fan of Dude or not, I'm not like a typical fan of him or like a regular fan of his. But having him drop this album Yang in 2025, I'm interested to see where he'll go from there, and that's exactly what I'm predicting to. So the title I came up with, what I believe, that matches the goal, the perspective that he'll have, the reference point, the lay down. The title, I guess, is I'm Dark, because it's gonna be more of a introspective. It's gonna be introspective. The sound is gonna be alternative hip hop, more of the backpack rap style. The purpose for it will be to continue to mature his sound, have him do this, and obviously I need a name change too. Takes his career to a new level. But yeah, that's my number 22. My favorite song, if I have to say, was like Wake Up. We have Hurry Up Tomorrow by The Weeknd at number 21. Big album for that year. That rollout was cool. You know what I mean? Like it was, you got the movie with it. You got the songs leading up to it. Timeless. Big song for 2024, 2025. Everywhere it was. It doesn't even matter if you're in a small town like me, you was gonna hear it outside. That's outside music. Unfortunately, AI. Unfortunately, AI. So it does have to sit here for the redacted points or reducted points. You do need a bit of soul, a lot of soul, really. Your soul in the music that you do create. Otherwise, everybody's just gonna be like, there's gonna be no real characters, bro. The album itself, though, Hurry Up Tomorrow, great production on that, great ideas on that. Overall, a good listen. I love the movie that was made for this album. Believe it or not, I was really like on the side that enjoyed that the I enjoyed the movie, but I did not like how it ended. In a sense, I understand like the acting wasn't the best, but I like the ideas that, you know what I mean. I wish we went somewhere really with it, but I enjoyed the elevator scene and then you pop out into the horror. I enjoyed the fact that it wasn't just one-sided storytelling. That's what I liked about that. It's kind of like if Sinners was the worst movie of 2025. You know what I mean? Stuff like this. Like if Sinners didn't really have all these ideas executed well, Sinners was the best movie of 2025. Hurry Up Tomorrow, like the teen movie version of this. Not enough music as well. I'd like to hear a lot more music in that movie. But what's next for the weekend? A name change that doesn't necessarily need to happen. The name change, Abel Tesfaye. We've been expecting that for a minute, long time, and years, if you get what I mean. Title, I guess I said, is Alone as Abel, to really put a mark on that name change. Like, that's the end of that trilogy, too. We've had After Hours, Dawn FM, Hurry Up Tomorrow. We're in a new era of Abel Tesfaye. The release date I've guessed, that will be coming out on the 10th of May, 2030. So we're not going to have the weekend for a long time. That was synth pop, though. I don't think that's going to change. Go transition in his name. At number 20, I don't listen to a lot of music outside of hip hop and rap and R&B. But when I do, and you can actually make me stick around, we have Doggies by Aaron's Book Club. Cool alternative rock tracks. You've got like these Spanish breaks in the middle if you wanted them. Great storyteller, great character building. Turn off the de-esser, because I like it better. The way that I say yes just sounds like my mom. The emotions that if he's wanting to really put out his character there, like his identity, his soul, if you will, then he's gonna get aggressive. He will get into that mic like it owes him some money, bro. Cool album. Definitely worth listening to. Some of them might fade into the background, but overall, that's still a good experience to listen to. If you do not have the time to listen to that album, I would say the best song to go to is I like Somehow I'm Not Surprised. Next title, guess for the next title is of his next album, I'm predicting is Sluggish, because he's been going for like animals and insects vibe. You have the release date being on the 24th of April 2026. Don't take none of these guesses to heart. Sound, of course, is going to be alternative rock. And the goal, Grammy nomination. I like to see that for Aaron's Book Club W album. We move on. 19. We have Beloved by Giveon. It's very commercial, but with the commercial can come hits, which is what this album brings. Throwback style, maybe a little bit of Marvin Gaye, maybe. I wouldn't say there's too much Marvin Gaye influence there. Like 20th century soul influences, I would say, is definitely a big contribution, influence, impact of the album. Smooth and enjoyable throughout. Great listen, cool. Another flaw of it is, of course, like being a bit passive, but great experience. Cool album. If I had to say like what my favorite song of that album is, I like to say 20s. It's between 20s and I Can Tell. What we're gonna get for Giveon next is my prediction. You might know a lot more if you're a super fan of these people too. I'm not gonna say like I know everything. But my prediction for Giveon, the title, Heat of the Moment, the release date is the 18th of April 2026. The sound, bigger throwback R&B, and goal. Giveon's a big artist. There's nothing too much to do for him. It's just the bounce back of this album to continue streaming, especially if he drops it this early too. We get it in this season. That's the only thing that you can expect to get from that. But 18, I really thought that this album was gonna land in my top 3. We have Lotus by Little Simz. Great performance artistically. You do have like a versatile track list. You have Young on there, this like weird, zany, like I don't even know what type of rock that is, but I want to say punk. It is not though. I have no idea what that is. Then you've got like the African influences. You got the UK hip hop influences. Everything that was made on this album. Great performances, great features. You do have a feature from Little Simz' brother on here. Just storytelling kind of phone call vibe, bro. While not every track is memorable on its own, each one of these songs do contribute to the full album experience. Worth listening to. Again, I thought that this was going to land in my top 3. It did not. If you don't have enough time to dive into the whole album, then one song that you should check out is Free. Free is like this neo soul record that she does have. Great chorus, great sample. That's not even from like another record though. That was like performed for that song right there for free. That's the one that you should go and listen to. Right now, pause this, go. This one didn't land in my top 3. Maybe this next one that I'm expecting on the 10th of July 2026 will. The sound, neo soul, please. Little Sims diving more of that neo soul vibe. I'm telling you, you have all of Little Sims' best songs. All of those are neo soul tracks that she's got from production with Salt and Cleo Soul. That's the vibe that I do like for Little Sims. That's the one I'm trying to hit. The title guess that I have is I found myself in this word right here. That's what I think the title's gonna be. Have that be a real word. The release date will be like this July 10th, 2026. And the goal is she's going to headline Wireless in 2027. Just above that, we do have Bye by Doja Cat. Solid album, great pop out tracks, strong performances both lyrically and vocally, which are highlighted on tracks such as Gorgeous. Impressive production throughout, particularly on Acts of Service. And while not every song stands out on its own, they come together to form a cohesive and enjoyable album experience. Great album. I would say my favorite probably is like it's between all of those though, like Jealous Type, it's between Acts of Service, it's between Gorgeous. I think the one that stands out to me the most is Gorgeous though. Hopefully you'll find time to listen to that next one too, because the title gets, I believe we take some time. Doja's gonna take some time off. She's gonna have life happen to her. She's going to become what this title of this next album is. May that be rap focus. Have that come out before 2030, but only a year before. I'm predicting the title is going to be called Mother. And I mean that in two ways as well, because I know how that starts a new chapter in her life, that starts a new chapter in her career too. Number 16, we have The Pilot by Mavi. I also like this title, guess that I do have for him too. But with this crazy memorable opening line with I'm the best dressed on my therapist's couch. That's that type of like throw off, little tongue in cheek, little bit tongue in cheek. Strong beat selection overall, especially on tracks like Giannis. That was my favorite song as well. If you want to listen to this album and don't have the time, Giannis. It feels like a new take, new perspective on abstract hip hop, more hype beast if you will, as Mavi does best, learning from Earl Sweatshirt. There's impressive technical rapping throughout the album, and while not every track stands out individually, the project is still a solid and enjoyable listen overall. So what's next for Mavi? I think good. This is a good title, I guess. I believe. Good Grief, which is like a yin and yang situation. You have the good, you have the grief together. That's already a phrase. Good Grief. I predict that it's gonna drop in 2027, September 13th. The sound is still going to be abstract hip hop in Mavi's perspective. You know, Mavi's taken this more hype beast. Like if Playboy Carti fans could read this, he's going to be featured on some major albums the same way they had Jit. I am excited to see what's next. This album is great. I would say go listen to it. If you don't have the time, then Giannis freestyle. That's how that's gonna go. Also, there's a lot of songs I could talk about. The Potluck, you know what I mean? There's the one he did with Earl Sweatshirt. There's Kenny Mason. It is a decent album, and I do think that if you have the time, go ahead. Number 15, Love is a Kingdom by Tems. If Tems is gonna drop that year, Tems has to end up on a list like this. It has a strong collection of Afro beats, clean, polished production, and well executed overall. It was a short, so there's not too much to say, but if I wanted to say my favorite songs is like Love Lagos, Big Daddy. Very short, very quick, and very I would say accessible. I had to predict when that next Tems is gonna actually come out. We are getting the bigger album next time. We get that in the 17th of September 2029. I swear, this title is so good, I thought that it was already an album. Rooms I Built and Can't Escape. That is crazy. That is such a Tems album if I've ever heard one. It's gonna be a mix. You know what I mean? She got a new relationship with Dave. So there is Afro beats and UK hip hop thrown into the. What's the goal? Album of the year at the Grammys 2030. That decade is probably going to be crazy, but hopefully we don't start it you know what I mean. At number 14, we have Kyrie by Offset. I do like this album because it's a great showcase of Atlanta rap. One of dare I say, potential kings. Actually, not even potential kings. That dude has a whole legacy of being one of the main guys within the group Migos to be one of the kings of Atlanta trap music. It's good gym workout music, you know what I mean? It's a good outdoor. There's always going to be a time you can play a song from this album. Again, while some of these songs do feel passive or background orientated, standout tracks like Bodies, Insane Cut, you've got like Offset's performance and JID's performance, Insane, where you blend hip hop and rhythm and poetry. And if you would like to go follow me on Instagram, let's have conversations there. If I was to say to you, what makes hip hop as important as rhythm and poetry? Said it like this. What does that make you think? What would you say? What's next for Offset 2? I believe the next one is going to pay homage. I believe it's going to be called Long Live the Rocket. In fact, I don't think that's going to be a solo project. The release date is the 27th of August 2027. That's just me guessing. Do not take that personally or like too hard. Don't think if Offset doesn't drop or Quavo doesn't drop because Quavo will be involved in this album. Don't just ducks the house like you did Playboi Carti. That's insane. Of course, the sound is going to be Southern hip hop. You're going to get more trap in there. Migos, one of the best rap groups of all time. The goal from this is to release a collab tape with Quavo, rekindling their relationship. We get a Migos album in the big 2027. Cool. I'm with it. I'm such a big fan of the Migos. I'm down. Okay, you play it out. You send it out and I'll play it. I got my ears for it. They're ready, locked and loaded. Okay. Number 13 on Looking for Some. And I wish this album did land at number 10 because we do have 10 by Salt. Strong production overall, even though the track P initially sounds like a pizza commercial before switching into a reggae style instrumental. That's so much better that it actually annoys me. Because why do we have the first half when you have such a better like second half? That doesn't even last long enough for me to be like good song. Creative song structures throughout the album. Solid grooves as well. Cool album. Great listen. And I think we stick to the numbers when we talk about what's next. I think the next title guest is number 1. The release date is the 12th of July 2027. The sound is Neo Soul Hello. And the goal is Album of the Year at the Brits 2028. Number 12. You might have been waiting for this answer. You may have not. You may have hoped that I wouldn't even say this. But number 12 is Music by Playboi Carti. This album took a huge chunk out of my listening in 2025. If you go through my replay, it's just Playboi Carti, Playboi Carti, Playboi Carti. And a lot of these songs are genuinely fire. Carti gives the album a strong, distinct identity, very important. One of the main faces, I'll probably say the main face right now for hip hop, for his way to actually have a big impact on how people are like dressing, how they're talking, their slang, you know what I mean? What are they doing? Identity wise, that's hip hop. I say like hip hop is rap's identity. Even if it doesn't quite measure up to a Whole Lotta Red at all. Whole Lotta Red is like Chronic level, which sounds crazy, I know. I wouldn't say legacy wise. Eventually it will though. Don't sleep on that. And don't get too mad at that, that's weird. Don't be weird. Perfect Dogs music. Easy to play anytime. With great features and plenty of standout moments. I would say Travis Scott. I would say Young Thug, Ty Dolla $ign. Features like this. The major issue is that the album feels unfinished. It totally was. It definitely was unfinished. Because if you remember in that call as well, that Kai Cenat, like, everybody's waiting and we have to listen to I Am Music through Kai Cenat's stream. Playboi Carti was not about to put that album out that night. He was not done with that album. And it very much showed all these AI like voice swaps. One is definitely, I think on Overly is definitely Ken Carson. But because of how many songs are genuinely cool and important to really like how hip hop is now, it sits here. It took a huge amount of time with me, like Wheezy, Evil Jordan. I'd say Toxic was amazing. I forgot to name Skepta in that list of features. It definitely deserves a place on this list. If I had to guess what this next album is, you're not gonna get Baby Boy. You're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get Narcissist. Because Carti kind of keeps on looking and diving every idea he ever has. This next album I'm predicting will be called Vampire. for YVL. And hopefully it actually goes in this way too. We get it in the 16th of June 2028. The sound is minimalistic, like that minimalistic dark car focus, you know, the brrr, or the HBA. Sounds like this K-pop. Hopefully we get more of that sound. Instead of using AI, we really get the Ken Carson's on the whoever is signed to YVL or Opium at that time, instead of just let me just use one of my guys and then swap out my voice for that. No. Highlight, you don't even have to be on some of the songs, bro. It just has to be YVL. We are halfway into this list. It's nearly over. My first video back and my first video of 2026. What do I want to plug? I want to plug my Patreon. Everything that's going to be on there for a minute is going to be free. All free content. You just go follow there. All my ideas that have been blocked by copyright. Like really good ideas, abstract if you would say. Niche. All of those sit on Patreon. And I've only got one video there. I'm expecting myself to just like be putting content that you won't even see me. Like album reactions are going to be there. You know, I should have really done Don't Be Dumb. So however you want to hear my score of Don't Be Dumb, I would say it was an 8 out of 10. Alright, let's get back in the video. At number 11, we have Lonely at the Top by Joey Badass. I'm so true about this album too that it's still growing on me. I'm still coming back to tracks like 3 Feet Away. Shows a solid range across the track list. You have the one where it's like 2000s, you have some cloud rap, boom bap, you know what I mean? That's good range. You have some singing songs with Hands on Your Body by Ty Dolla $ign that Ready to Love You. Strong production throughout, whether on boom bap cuts or more modern like style, mainstream style beats. Notable features: A$AP Ferg doing a Busta Rhymes thing. I believe that his favorite rapper is Busta Rhymes. Despite the talent involved, the project struggles to establish a clear identity, even for an artist as established as Joey Badass. And unfortunately, too many tracks end up feeling like background music. A lot of these albums have that same problem. That's a very big con throughout the whole year. This is the best albums of 2025. Hopefully, we have a different conversation by the end of this and probably the start of 2027, depending on when that video comes out or what my next idea is at that time. What's next for Joey Badass? I believe we get a 90s boom bap hip hop aesthetic from him. We get that in 19th of June, 2026. He ends up as a main lead in a movie that'll be Apple TV exclusive, a Spike Lee joint, probably. Just because that's what he was. Spike Lee did a movie with A$AP Rocky, Highest to Lowest. The title guess, instead of Brooklyn's Finest, you get Brooklyn's Badass, like Brooklyn Badass. That's a cool, like, alliteration. I say if you don't know what to call your next album, Joey, Brooklyn Badass works just fine. At number 10, one that I'm happy that did touch my top 10, but I expected a little higher. I'm not gonna lie, you're probably gonna be thrown off by what albums I do have above this, especially with the name about to drop right now. This is Alfredo 2 by Freddie Gibbs at number 10. Don't get me wrong, The Alchemist is dropping excellent production throughout this whole album. Cool. And I feel it's still adapting. I'm still adapting to this album. Cool album. Excellent production from The Alchemist with creative and effective use of sampling. Standout features from Anderson .Paak and JID. The album builds a strong immersive soundscape, though some tracks struggle to stand out individually and end up blending together. As I say, I like the aesthetic that they had. I like some of the, like a lot of the songs that was on there. Gold Leather Slice Life? Dumbass! I want to say. I could go through the whole track list basically. Freddie Gibbs, without features, definitely holds up as well. Unfortunately, it didn't get to my top 5. However, this next album might, which I'm predicting the title is Don't Push Me. That one might come out 2031. We do get Hiatus from Freddie Gibbs. He drops that in June 20th. The sound again, The Alchemist production. We get this album because it's going to highlight his career, trying to get one last moment before a potential retirement, and then we're done. Again, don't take any of this to heart. I really don't know. This is just guessing. In fact, like, if I named the album that you was really rocking with this year or an artist that's your personal favorite, let me know what you think. I'm done. Let me be. We're gonna get top 10 lighting. We got top 10 lighting in the building. At number 9, we do have God Does Like Ugly by JID. because this is a classic JID blend of ratchet and righteous, as Screwface Strong would say. Displays a strong range of lyricism and melody, great singing, not just regular like auto-tune crooning. JID has 90s R&B style vocals, and he's able to hit with tone and range. That dude is insane. Why is he that good? JID is insane, and I want more albums. I want every song that he could ever release. Great artist. His real life name is insane, and I'm gonna get into that for his title guess. Wild name. What God Does Like Ugly did though, that displays a strong range of lyricism and melody, given how impressive JID's vocals were on the Forever Story, Cody Blue Failure 1. The main issue is the length. There's too much material, and several tracks fail to be memorable. Again, 2025's biggest con. Background music a little bit. Not the whole album though. What do we get from JID? Or his personal friends, close personal friends, Fresh Prince style? Destiny Choice Root is this guy's name. That's insane. That's what I'm predicting this next title will be. I believe we get that next year, not this year, 2027, in the August, and that'll be on the 20th. The sound will be R&B focused because these R&B like trap soul style songs that we was getting from JID on God Does Like Ugly, they was hitting. That was cool, bro. That's what I like to see. What I believe JID will get from this is he'll make himself more commercial with this album, as much as he is already, with features on big records, or his hit song Surround Sound. It took a ceiling challenge to show that I'm above my peers, Crazy Bar. This album will probably make him one of the biggest artists of that year. I wish and I pray for Denzel Curry to have that same commercial success. By God, Denzel Curry. We getting them albums this year too, hopefully. I've been waiting for that R&B Denzel to drop. Speaking of R&B, you ever missed them like times where people would be dancing? You know what I mean? They hop out. You know who's got that kind of sway? Josh Levi. At number 8, we have Hydraulic by Josh Levi. I know. Over God Does Like Ugly and Alfredo too. Let me read them. But what Josh Levi actually does with this album, Hydraulic, is he's able to create a super groovy album with trap soul vibe and a confident late night aura. Oh, bro, like all of these songs will be able. You're safe to play these songs at a party, bro. Each single one, even with these laid down cuts, laid back cuts. You know that blunt Frank Ocean type of style. There's a strong cohesive soundscape from front to back. Great mixing. Engineer was on one, bro. I don't know who the engineer was, and I do want to give him his credit because that's actually when you're able to stand out as an engineer, you're doing your job correctly, bro. That's what you would call headphone music. If you have headphones, bro, put them on. Go listen to Hydraulic by Josh Levi. This album feels like the kind of project The Weeknd might have made. It was actually more focused on making hits for Hurry Up Tomorrow. But what do we have next for Josh Levi? My guess for the title will be Frequency. He's kind of got this, I say, sound system swag to his type aesthetic that he does call these albums. Side A, Side B, Hydraulic. Next one, Frequency. We get that in 2028 because this guy has got so much hits on Hydraulic. There is no rush for a next album. We get that in the 7th of July. The sound is big R&B hits with crazy engineering because Josh Levi does that crazy already. The goal is this album will open a lot more opportunities for Josh Levi, and you're going to start seeing him booked for a lot more festivals at a bigger standard. I believe this dude is a star already. It's just a matter of time he gets big enough to start doing 80 synth pop albums. And hopefully he doesn't, because if he sticks to the R&B swag, bro, crazy track list, crazy discography. W. Josh Levi, and I'm expecting him to be a future Coachella headliner. At number 7, we have Hers by Matt Maltese. The character building on this album is incredible. The ability to evoke multiple emotions through one person's lyrics is impressive. That dude is actually like, he's psychological. Because every time he'll say a line, you'll be like, is this dude actually okay? You worry about that? He's just singing a song, but you worry about that. That's like, you don't want to hear me, you just want to dance. Matt Maltese is making you hear him. There's a beautiful alternative leaning production throughout, concise runtime that makes for an easy, focused listen. Like if your none is around, you play a little bit of Mel Maltese. That's that type of music. While some lyrics can feel a bit corny and a few songs lean too passive, this album is still a very enjoyable listen overall. That's cool. Great album. Like if you, this is why it lands over. Even though Josh Levi has more hits than Matt Maltese on this album, that when we compare albums, even though that is the case, Matt Maltese actually makes an album more than a mixtape type of feel. And if you're just getting into him, just like I am, but you want to know what's next after this, I believe we get another "I'm Sad in My Room" kind of title. We get "I Don't Belong" as the title. We get that in the 12th of June this year, and the sound is him gonna be elaborating on this 60s soft rock style. As throwbacks are popular, and I believe that he's gonna try and be like radio play. This will be the year Matt gets his first Brit Award nomination and possible win this year. Okay, we got number 6. Before we talk about top 5, we have Hyper Youth by Joey Valence and Bray. This album is actually cool, bro. This is a cool album. This is very hip hop. This is like the revival, the Renaissance era, the brand new Beastie Boys. But with this album being packed with high energy, it's like 2000s Elephant. This album being packed with high energy, fun bangers throughout the track list. Strong production that moves between energetic hip hop beats and psychedelic breaks. The album has a clear, confident identity from Joey Valence and Bray. Even if the lyrics aren't the strongest, the delivery and presence make the cornea lines work. These guys are very expressive, I would say. Lack of bars, but a lot of energy, a lot of fun. I'm not too mad with it. It is a great album. Landed top 6. Obviously, it's great gym music. Tierra Wax verse. Very good contribution. Bust down, throwing it around. I said, bust down, throwing it around. And if you're all with it, with it, with it. You know, it's very funny as well. There's a lot of humor. A lot of playfulness. You know, there's on Go Hard at the end of it where he's just screaming like, oh, oh, oh. It's a fun listen. Go do it. Everybody needs fun. 2026, we're bringing it in. Go ahead now. Cool throwbacks as well. Like, there's the Missy Elliott throwback references. Great listen. Go ahead. Right. The next album that I think that's going to pop out from these is called Rascal. The release date would be on the 7th. No, be on the release date would be the 10th. The release date would be the 10th of July, 2026. The sound would be with it being released so close to Hyper Youth. The focus will be more on dance more than there is on raps, which is the right way to go for these, as their energy is better than their bars. That's truth. That's not even me being hating. That's just hip hop. You know what I mean? Great identity. The goal, though, 2027 Coachella performance, but not headlining. Finally, we hit the top 5. And we talk about Sincerely by Kali Uchis. When Kali drops, Colin listens. As with this one, there's excellent production, featuring polished instrumentals and seamless switches into entirely new ideas, like on Breeze. A consistently beautiful soundscape across the album. Great reverb, you can hear that in All I Can Say. And in Breeze. And Territorial. A gorgeous project. Talk about it. To fully take in and immerse yourself in. Your best listening experience would be from just lying in your bed, letting that reverb hit you, take your soul away from you in the best way, and then it's only London that here will give you it right back. There is no demonism in this shit, bro. I don't know what the fuck this mean, but I definitely, the next guest for like the next Kali Uchis album, because she does the Spanish, English. This next title is gotta be Spanish. I would say it's Esta Calida por Dentro. It means this warmth inside. I believe she'll be talking about her home, bro. That new home. The home feeling that she gets from her child. That child was conceived by her and Don Toliver. That's a family. Good family out the way family. You don't even know if they're still together. I want to see more Kali and Don features too. Especially with Don Toliver dropping his album this year. Probably definitely going to be on my end of the year list. Have I do one for 2026. Talking about a warm feeling, you know what I mean? Cozy, we get comfortable. You can get that from Starline by Chance the Rapper, sitting at number 4. A really strong comeback album from Chance the Rapper. The last album he dropped before this was The Big Day. This comeback album, top 4 of 2025. A really strong comeback album, features several great tracks, especially Just the Drop, which is my favorite. The beat is so good. I want that, bro. It massages my brain. I don't know what it is, but that's my favorite shit from that album. Good stuff, bro. One of my favorite songs that actually dropped that year too. You follow me, but you're not gonna get that list anymore. It did land in my end of year list for songs. While some production choices feel weaker in places, the album is still consistently enjoyable. Very like front to back, great listen. Excellent use of soulful trance energy, particularly on tracks like Speed of Love. When will real love turn fiery in my heart? You know that's like front to back. That's a great album. Even the ones with like the songs with Baby Chief do it. That's a cool album. I swear, if you go listen to it, you're gonna understand. What's next? I believe the next title for a Chance the Rapper album is No More Trips Down Memory Lane. That's the very Chance. That is very Chance the Rapper. We're not looking back. We're looking forward, man. That's exactly what that means. And we get that in 2028, the 18th of June. Sound for this album will be this classic soulful boom bap records with great rhyme schemes from Chance the Rapper. That's all we ever needed. The goal is Chance will land a starring role in a movie in 2028. Whether that movie comes out in the same year, I don't know. This movie will have big co-stars from Donald Glover and Keke Palmer. The movie will be taken to the cinema. We are going to the cinema with this one. Hopefully it has like a Timothée Chalamet, Marley Supreme roll out to it too. And if you want to know my thoughts on that, because this is a big video, I don't drop as much as I used to. Every now and then, because we're putting the ideas first in 2026. What I thought about Marley Supreme was great movie. Front to back, I believe it did actually close the chapter. Way too long. I feel like if it focused on just putting all its best ideas into an hour and a half, the movie would have got a lot more better criticism. I would give the movie an 8 out of 10. Leaving Sinners, that 9 out of 10 movie, that was the best movie that dropped that year. Sinners was, and obviously Tyler the Creator was in Marley Supreme, so that's my favorite rapper. Leave it on that note. I would have been fine with putting Tyler the Creator at number 20, but he's top 3. What do you think that is? What do you think? Everything I've been saying in this list video, what do you think that my top 3 is of 2025? I can tell you at number 3, we have Dopamine by Lil Tecca, because the consistency across the album is impressive. Whether it leans into the rage beats or the Neptunes inspired beats, everything hits. Even when some tracks function as background music, the melodies stay engaging. This feels like Lil Tecca's best album to date. Definitely is Lil Tecca's best album to date. Remaining enjoyable across multiple listens. This album is basically how I Am Music would have sounded if Playboi Carti actually finished it. My favorite song off of there is One Night. I believe that all these songs are genuinely worth listening to. Very good, like headphone music. Very good. You outside, you're trying to figure out who could I play. Let's shuffle. Lil Tecca's Dopamine. Oaks Ability. From two sides of hip hop. You got the rage, and you got them slow 2000s joints. But what's next? I believe the title of Lil Tecca's the next Lil Tecca album will be called Unplugged. It will come out this year, August 21st. It will sound just more trendy rage bangers. And the goal, Tecca saves another summer, even though we probably have a lot of good albums coming out this year. Starting off with a bang too. Don't be dumb. Great album. I believe that placement for top 3 as well. I believe all these placements, but I want to make sure that when I was making this list, it was really what connected to me more. How engaged was I when listening to it from front to back? Because you could probably have the best album of that year to everybody else. But when you talk about Colin's top 22, not even top 25, top 22, who's sitting on the pause? Number 2, we have Don't Tap the Glass by Tyler, the Creator. It was a surprise album that dropped this year because we wasn't expecting it. Especially after Chromacopia dropping, we was expecting a 2-year wait. And we're getting another one this year. But this album is extremely consistent from start to finish. Every track feels worth listening to. And it's a dance album in spirit rather than in tradition, pulling from multiple hip hop subgenres, from West Coast to New Orleans bounce. It doesn't demand too much time from the listener, and it is worth every minute. From Big Poe to Tell Me What It Is. I enjoy every song that's on here, even tweaking. Huh? Bitch, I'm tweaking, huh? I think it's just a cool album, bro. It's not the Flower Boy to Call Me If You Get Lost Run, one of the most iconic hip hop. Throw your own tracks if you want to say that in your next comment. We might get another Flower Boy to Call Me If You Get Lost Run from this album that's coming out this year. Well, I believe it might be very important to actually call this Untitled with the controversy that happened around when D'Angelo had passed. Obviously, it pays homage, but it also, like, with it being a more rap focus as well as more bars. Untitled is a great title with great meaning. I believe we get this album on the 17th of August. How will this album sound? It's going to be a more intentional version of the estate sale. So I guess just like Call Me If You Get Lost, but don't get your hopes up, okay? We might have lost that Tyler, but every Tyler's album that still drops is still worth listening to. It's not like the Kanye Fall Down. It's at least not like that. With Kanye he might be back, but I'm not paying attention to that yet until I know that the next Kanye West album and after it drops is genuinely worth every minute. Back to that real Kanye West. None of this crash out music is no good. None of this AI is no good. Go. This album will feel like he's back on that Flower Boy to Call Me If You Get Lost Run. That's it. That's all we need. Number one, you already know what it is, so you might as well click off. Like God Sort 'Em Out by Clips. This was the best album of 2025 and might be the best rap album of the 2020s objectively. Every song feels insane. Every minute is a moment. The feature list is stacked and wild with Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator, and Nas alongside full production from Pharrell Williams. This stands out as one of the greatest comeback albums of all time. Shout out to Chance for being number 4, but Clips is number 1. You have great performances from everybody that contributed. You don't know what I know. You ain't been where I been, no. You won't get where I. With a fetish so strong, you got that back it with one eye closed. Should have tell you inside out. Fresh Prince, check it, boy, I cook up till the inside out. This is a classic. It's not Illmatic good. Although both albums are objectively a 10 out of 10. It's not Illmatic good yet. Because time actually played in favor of Nas' Illmatic. The reason Illmatic is good is has basically the same reason that Clips is good. Just let God sort him out. That's Illmatic level, and eventually, you know what I mean? It's concise, it's intentional, it is fire, bro. What do we think next? Was that Clips' last ever album? Or do we go back? Because if we go back, I would say the next title is Pure by God. What does that mean? That's a double entendre. Pure can be broken, bricks. I'm a good Christian. That mixes Malice and Pusha T's rap personalities into one. That is the perfect title for their next album, Pure by God. When do I expect this? When do I predict this? We get that in 2027. We get it on the 13th of August. And instead of having Pharrell, no Glaze, but I believe that the production this time will come from Tyler the Creator. You're already excited to hear that album, so am I. What will Clips get from that? Clips will have done everything they needed to do at this point. If they drop an album, it's for the purpose of it being great music. That's all they need to do. That is my end of year list 2025. Welcome to 2026. I have no idea when my next video is going to be. It might be in March 2029. But we are putting ideas first in the big 2026. That's my main focus. I'm taking time off because I'm not afraid to live life. If anything, I want more challenges, bro. I want more experience. I only have 556 subscribers. I'm grateful for every single one that I've earned. You know, since actually putting down the camera for a while, my last video was the rappers versus wrestlers who has more aura. Great idea. Then I realized I really want to put ideas first. So I haven't dropped another video since then to work on this one. I hope the payoff was well deserved. I hope you got what you wanted out of this video. If you're watching all the way till this as well, shout out to you. Subscribe. But even just like the view fight, like because you're probably watching on TV. Even if you will do, God bless you. I've been on holidays to Greece. Ugh. Solid at creative level. Eating Cubans on the sand, bro. Not like just Cuban people. I mean, like we was eating Cubans, like sandwiches, the crispy onions, the cheese, the pulled pork. That went nuts, bro. I'm never gonna have enough sandwiches like that probably ever again. But insane. We was drinking alcohol like it had no effect. Ooh. Definitely don't do that at home though. I started going to gym. Started going wrestling training. Doing job interviews that ended up being pyramid schemes twice. So I'm coming away from marketing jobs and trying to be a barista. Hopefully that happens for me this year because I'm not. With this being my it will be my first job ever, and I'm 20. I mean, if employment is getting tough. Everything is algorithm. Fortunately, it is like blaming it on the system. It's just how that works, though. People are gonna be better than you. You just gotta build up experience. I feel like if I can if I can land a barista job, I would be perfect for that role. This is me applying for it right now. Because it's not the end goal, bro. The end goal is gonna be it's in decades away. And I'm in the gym so I can have decades away. Not afraid to live life. That is what I'm trying to say. I am taking ideas. I am taking time to put ideas first because I'm not afraid to live life. That's what I also want from you. If you're a creative, I want you to have that same mentality. I hope you take so much time that you've ended up building so much of life for yourself that when you come to your next video, if you're like my age and you're living with your parents or you're a little bit older, saying 2025. No, not that old, but yeah, 25. I hope the next video is a different backdrop because you got your own place and you're healthy and you are doing good for yourself. That's me. That's Young Colin. That's out. That's the list of this of last year. We dropped that this year. What's next? Hopefully all these ideas do come true. They seem good enough. They seem good enough. If I want to say the Royal Rumble prediction before I get out of here, I would say Braun Breaker and Chelsea Green. That is who I've got. I'm gone now though. That's like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.